The Genesis, a history of Anthropic and Claude. The story of Claude begins with a fundamental philosophical schism within the artificial intelligence community. In 2021, a group of leading researchers at OpenAI, spearheaded by siblings Dario Amodei, now CEO, and Daniela Amodei, now president, left the organization. Their departure was driven by concerns over the rapid commercialization of AI and a desire to prioritize AI safety, interpretability, and alignment. They founded Anthropic, an AI research company based in San Francisco, with a mandate to build systems that were inherently helpful, honest, and harmless. The breakthrough of constitutional AI instead of relying solely on standard reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF. Anthropic pioneered a concept called constitutional AI. This framework aligns the AI system using a foundational set of guidelines, a constitution, that dictates its behavior. Drawing from sources like the 1948 UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights and strict corporate terms of service, this constitution allows the AI to evaluate and adjust its own outputs to ensure ethical compliance. This approach made Claude inherently more predictable, less prone to toxic hallucinations, and highly attractive to risk-averse enterprises. The evolution of the models after finishing the initial training of Claude in the summer of 2022, Anthropic held the model back for rigorous internal safety testing, deliberately avoiding the hasty release cycle that characterized the generative AI boom. 2023, the debut. Claude and a lighter, faster version called Claude Instant were officially released in March 2023. By July, Anthropic launched Claude 2 to the public, gaining traction for its massive memory capabilities. 2024, the tiered approach. In March 2024, Anthropic introduced the Claude 3 family, categorized by size and capability: Haiku, fast and cheap; Sonnet, the balanced middle tier; and Opus, the heavy-duty reasoning engine. In June 2024, the release of Claude 3.5 Sonnet fundamentally shifted the landscape, cementing Claude as the industry standard for software engineering and coding tasks. 2025, Agents and the Enterprise Era. May 2025 saw the launch of the Claude 4 family, alongside real-time web search capabilities and the general availability of Claude Code, an agentic command line assistant. Throughout late 2025, Anthropic iterated rapidly with versions 4.1 and 4.5, optimizing the models for complex workplace tasks, multi-step reasoning, and generating spreadsheets and code bases autonomously. 2026, the cyber frontier and geopolitics. By early 2026, Claude 4.6 and 4.7 were released, focusing on agent teams and seamless enterprise software integration. However, 2026 also highlighted the real-world stakes of Anthropic's strict safety guidelines. The company faced intense pressure from the U.S. Department of Defense to lift contractual prohibitions against using Claude for mass domestic surveillance and autonomous weapons. Simultaneously, Anthropic began testing Claude Mythos, a model so capable at identifying cybersecurity vulnerabilities that it was restricted to select enterprise partners and allied governments rather than being released to the public. The most profitable functions of Claude. To understand how Claude generates wealth, you have to look past the standard chatbot interface. Claude's profitability lies in its architecture, which is custom-built for complex, heavy-duty workflows that cause other models to lose their train of thought. 1. The massive context window. Claude's defining superpower has long been its context window, the amount of text it can hold in its working memory at one time. Claude can ingest hundreds of thousands of tokens simultaneously. For a business, this means a user can upload an entire book, a decade's worth of financial statements, or a 200-page legal code base into a single prompt. Claude does not forget the beginning of the document by the time it reaches the end, allowing for unparalleled deep document analysis and cross-referencing. 2. Agentic software engineering, Claude Code. With the introduction of Claude Code and its non-technical, graphical equivalent, Cowork, Claude transitioned from a passive code generator to an active software agent. Instead of just giving a developer a snippet of Python, Claude Code can read an entire repository, identify where a new feature belongs, write the code, test it, and implement it. Anthropic itself reported in 2026 that nearly 100% of their internal code was written by Claude Code and Opus. This autonomous execution dramatically lowers the cost of software development. 3. Artifacts and interactive generation. The artifacts feature transformed Claude from a text generator into a dynamic workspace. When asked to create a website UI, a complex SVG graphic, or an interactive React component, Claude generates the code and renders a fully functional preview right next to the chat. This drastically accelerates the prototyping phase for product managers and designers, allowing them to iterate on visual and functional software in real time without needing an engineering team. 4. Brand safety and compliance assurance. While less flashy than coding, Claude's constitutional AI foundation is arguably its most lucrative feature for the B2B sector. Large corporations, banks, healthcare providers, and insurance companies cannot afford an AI that hallucinates financial data or generates offensive content. Claude's predictable, highly steerable nature means enterprises can deploy it in customer-facing scenarios or sensitive internal audits with a much lower risk of legal liability or PR disasters. How businesses are making money with Claude. The narrative around AI has shifted from experimentation to brutal ROI. In 2026, businesses are no longer paying for AI novelties. They are deploying Claude to cut operational costs, build new products, and secure digital infrastructure. Here is how they are doing it. 1. Monetizing cybersecurity and bug bounties with the restricted release of Claude Mythos via Project Glasswing. Tech giants have turned AI into an automated defense system. Companies like Cloudflare and Mozilla use Claude to scan millions of lines of code that underpin critical internet infrastructure. In a matter of weeks, Claude Mythos identified over 10,000 critical, high-severity bugs across partner networks, by utilizing Claude to simulate multi-step cyber attacks and patch vulnerabilities. Companies are saving tens of millions of dollars in potential data breach liabilities. Furthermore, independent security researchers and bug bounty hunters use high-tier Claude models to audit open-source code and proprietary systems, earning massive payouts for finding zero-day exploits before malicious actors do. Point 2. Legal contract review and risk mitigation. Reviewing non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, master service agreements, MSAs, and vendor contracts traditionally requires hours of expensive billable time from corporate lawyers. Today, legal teams feed 100-page PDFs directly into Claude Opus. Businesses prompt Claude to cross-reference incoming contracts against their own internal risk policies. Claude instantly flags non-compete clauses, unusual payment terms, and indemnification liabilities, and even drafts suggested revisions. This automation allows corporate legal departments to operate with a fraction of the headcount, drastically reducing overhead while accelerating the speed at which enterprise deals are closed. 3. Vibe coding and rapid SaaS startups. A massive wave of solo entrepreneurs is leveraging Claude's coding proficiency to build and sell software without a traditional computer science background, a trend colloquialized as vibe coding. Founders use Claude 3.5, Sonnet, and Opus to architect entire software as a service, SaaS, platforms, mobile apps, and custom APIs over a single weekend. By acting as a project manager and letting Claude handle the syntax, database routing, and deployment scripts, non-technical founders are launching highly profitable niche applications. From AI-powered skin analysis tools for Shopify stores to custom internal dashboards for logistics companies, entrepreneurs are converting Claude API credits directly into monthly recurring revenue. Point 4. Data extraction and financial analysis. In the world of finance, market research, and logistics, unstructured data is a massive bottleneck. Businesses receive thousands of pages of unstructured data daily, disorganized PDFs, scanned invoices, complex academic white papers, and customer feedback logs. Companies use Claude's long context window to ingest this raw data and extract structured insights. For example, a hedge fund can upload dozens of quarterly earnings reports and prompt Claude to extract specific operational costs into a clean CSV format. Marketing agencies use Claude to analyze thousands of customer support tickets, identifying emerging product complaints and feature requests. By turning unstructured noise into actionable, structured data, businesses can make faster, more profitable strategic decisions. 5. Upgrading legacy software with AI agents for established B2B software companies. The most profitable move has been integrating Claude's API directly into their existing platforms to create epic agents. Instead of selling a static CRM or HR tool, companies are upselling premium AI tiers. For instance, an HR software company will integrate Claude to allow their clients to automatically draft employee handbooks, summarize onboarding metrics, or navigate complex compliance frameworks like GDPR. Because Claude's API is universally accessible, legacy software companies that move fast can package Claude's reasoning capabilities into their proprietary interfaces, retaining their massive client bases while charging a premium for newly automated workflows. The bottom line: over the past few years, Claude has evolved from a safety-conscious chatbot into a foundational layer of the modern corporate economy. Anthropic's commitment to large context windows, autonomous agentic workflows, and ironclad safety guardrails has positioned Claude as the premier choice for serious enterprise work. Whether it is a lone founder vibe coding a startup into existence, a legal team slashing its billable hours, or a cybersecurity firm catching critical exploits, the businesses making the most money with Claude today are those treating it not as a search engine, but as a tireless, hyper-competent digital workforce.